Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 41 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today, we got a little bit of something to talk about. We've got some Season 2 content to talk about today. Zombies Onslaught is now a much better game mode than it used to be.
Much better game mode.
It's just amazing. We got a new Outbreak map, and also we got a little bit of an update on Zombies World Championship 3. So let's just start from the beginning. What do you think about all the new Onslaught changes, man? I, for one, love it.
Well, we were playing just a few days ago, as we both know, obviously. And I have to say, so much better.
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about before in the past, like, oh, this could be a great game mode. They just need to update it. And they really listened to the community and actually updated it. Like, all the things we needed, like Pack-a-Punch, we needed just everything we can get in basic zombies we needed. And they've done that for us. And now I think I enjoy I think Onslaught is the best side game mode we've had. Period.
Wow.
If I'm being honest. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Outbreak very, very much. But yeah. I feel like Onslaught is just that much better. I don't know if people agree. I don't know, because Outbreak is, again, good. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, I'm not the biggest fan of Outbreak, even though it's a really good game mode, and I hope they support it until it gets to this massive thing. I'm gonna find myself going to Onslaught more because it has more of that hectic, close quarters zombie stuff we love.
That's the thing that I think is great about Onslaught is that I know a lot of people were saying that, oh, we need to have those just standalone survival maps for zombies where, because I remember, who were we talking to? I think we were talking to Magna and Watchful Wolf when we were doing that starting room challenge, when we were talking about the town or the little village in Firebase Z could totally be its own survival map. And the fact that they added Onslaught Containment on the small gunfight maps like Ubon and KGB, those are their own little tiny survival maps that you can just have fun and get to high rounds on. And there's your survival maps. There's your small survival maps in the form of a side game mode on Onslaught, which I think is great.
Yeah, definitely.
The way they incorporated the Pack-a-Punch and the upgrading your weapon rarities is also fantastic. I mean, they couldn't have done it any better. You get level 3 armor now in Onslaught. It just works. It just works now.
It works before, it's just better than it was before.
Yeah, it works a lot better than it did before.
Okay, so what's your favorite map so far in the new Onslaught game?
I think my favorite map so far is Ubon, just because Ubon is so... You can just go really quickly in the middle of the map on the train tracks, and zombies are going to come at you from both sides. KGB is fun, too. That was the first one that I played. I haven't played it on ICBM yet, but I'm sure it's fun on ICBM and the other maps and whatnot. And you know what's kind of funny is Nuketown is in the gunfight rotation. We already have Onslaught Nuketown. So maybe it was a sign of things to come when they added it to Nuketown. But who knows? I mean... But yeah, Onslaught is definitely a much better game mode, and it's definitely top 3 best side game modes. Actually, that's a good idea for a fucking video.
top 5 side game modes.
It's actually not a bad
idea. I might just take that idea as well.
I might. You know what, man?
That's a great idea we came up with.
Let's both make the video, post it on the same day. And then watch people be like, well, Jason thinks this over Cosmic, and that means, Jason's opinion is wrong. But I'm just fucking around. But yeah, no, I think... shit. But I hope they keep containment in the game. I know we had Jingle Hells, which that was an LTM, and I hope Onslaught Containment isn't an LTM, and if it is, I'm actually gonna be kind of sad.
Yeah, no, because it's a good game mode and it fixes all the problem that the actual game mode has, and it's just because I think I ever said the big Fortnite, everyone's gonna copy them with limited time game modes. It gets a reason for people to come on, and don't get me wrong, a lot good came from Fortnite for gaming. That was positives, free to play, crossplay, things like that. But don't take away a good game mode. You fixed it. Don't take it away.
Yeah.
If you take it away, it sucks. It sucks really hard.
That's the thing too. Like Onslaught, like with the orb moving around the map too, like normal Onslaught is cool, right? I can understand why that's kind of a cool concept. You want people to move around the whole map, but with Onslaught Containment, because there's such small maps, you want to just survive. You know, you don't have to go from place to place on town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just one of those things where I just hope they don't remove it.
Yeah, and honestly, if they eventually add in, we discussed it before, if they add in transit and all them maps, I could see the small survival maps from them being incorporated into this game mode, maybe. Because they seem like the perfect size for something like this. Don't get me wrong, I'd like them as survival maps. I really like them as survival maps. But I could definitely see them doing something like this.
That'd be great. I would love to see Town and Farm and Bus Depot as Onslaught Containment maps. That'd be great.
Yeah, like, and with all the perks, Pack-a-Punch, because that's my biggest complaint with Bus Depot and Farm.
Definitely.
Like, and I'd even say the Zombie Chronicle maps to some extent. I know you can Pack-a-Punch on the World at War maps in it, but, you know, you have to go in for Gobblegum. Yeah. The fact we'll have Pack-a-Punch and things like that there, infinite rounds, we can pretty much get to, as long as our game doesn't crash, of course.
True.
It'd be a good time. It'd be a good time, and I just hope they don't get rid of it. The thing is, they probably will, because they know, oh, we get rid of it now and bring it back later. So many people are going to come on our game, and that's good for numbers. we love numbers.
You're going to make me cry.
Like, it's sad. It's sad because I mean, personally, I prefer over. Like I said, I personally prefer it over Outbreak. But on the topic of Outbreak, what are you thinking of the new map?
I like Sanatorium. Sanatorium Night is pretty cool. I like that it's at nighttime too, because now you got that
the biggest
dark, gloomy atmosphere. That is, it kind of reminds you of a horror movie a little bit.
Because we haven't had a nighttime map in like over about 2 years, not 2 years. Because Blood was at night.
Blood was at night. Voyage of Despair was at night. I mean,
Dead of Night
was obviously Dead of the Night. Dead of the Night.
But it's pretty much like pretty much we haven't had a dark map in ages, and to see it here is pretty good. I'm sure there's like an Onslaught map that's dark, but you know, it's.
I mean, okay, it's still Onslaught though. It's still the multiplayer maps.
Yeah. I guess this is different because
you could say Miami, because Miami at night is at night when you play it. So I guess there's that.
We don't count Miami as a map here. We don't count it as a map.
You don't count it as a map.
I don't. I do. I'm joking.
You know what's funny? Speaking of that, they revamped Miami, made Miami Strike, and I just thought of this right now. Right, you have Crossroads for Zombies Onslaught, right? But you don't have Armada in Zombies Onslaught. The one on the battleship. Wonder why that is.
Yeah,
maybe they're just like, do they not want players to swim? They don't want players going from boat to boat. Like, is that? I wonder why they decided not to do that.
You've actually just reminded me of something by that whole swimming talk about something we can discuss later. I'll bring it up later. I think there's a certain game mode we can't swim in, and there's been a lot been talked about how there's supposed to be something new coming, but they decided maybe not to do that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're saying. We can talk about that later. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying.
We can talk about that later. But I mean, alongside Sanatorium, what else has been added with Season 2?
Well, you got the new operator. You got Wolf. He's pretty cool. I mean,
I've seen
another skin. The other thing is, too, now that I think about it with Onslaught, just kind of backtracking a little bit, I found out on stream, and I never do this, right? You know how normal zombies in the rounds cap at 256? In Onslaught, it caps at 127. So
that's kind of.
I thought I was going crazy when I was like, didn't I just do 127? I was like, what the shit? And then when I completed the round, and then I actually didn't complete the round, it stayed at 127. I was like, oh, we got another round cap thing, which I'm going to be totally honest. Like, if anybody in the chat has the actual answer to this, please let me know. Why do the numbers stop counting? Like, actual question. I don't know.
I know in Black Ops, I know pretty much from Black Ops 2, or I don't know when, to a certain point, because you know how it capped at 255, was it? I think 255.
For Black Ops 3.
256. Yeah, Black Ops 3, right? The reason it capped at that number was because there was an error, like some sort of thing deep in the code that wouldn't allow the round to go over that. It sounds really stupid, but that's why it was. And in Black Ops 4, Jason Blundell was obviously like, we've removed that problem. and it was still there pretty much on launch. You at round 255 or whatever, you kept going, but you just go back to round 1 and continue the same difficulty from that point on, which makes things
That's
confusing.
so random.
Here's the thing: I don't understand it because why 55 or 56 or whatever?
Right? Why that specific number? Why is that number broken?
Because don't get me wrong, I know there's certain rounds that players shouldn't be able to get to just because you gotta remember this is on console at least, right? I don't think anyone should be expecting their console to keep going on the same game for 10 days plus. Right?
I mean, here's the thing. I would kind of expect it to if it can run it. I mean, here's the thing. I know you're gonna stress it out and the console's gonna get kind of fucked up.
Isn't it like a memory thing though?
It actually might be.
I don't know a lot about all that. I don't really know too much about
well then we gotta start developing the PS6 then, so we can
get the PS6 out here.
Get the PS6 so we can keep the same game going for 10 weeks.
Listen, skip the PS5 Pro, which will be slightly better than the PS5, which is probably coming out, by the way. Just like to say.
Of course.
Let's just jump over to 16K.
They're gonna create the PS5 Pro and they're gonna release that before they get normal PS5s restocked.
Yeah. Honestly, it sucks. Have you even seen a PS5 in a store?
No, I mean, I've seen the boxes on display, right?
There's no PS5.
PS5
There's
is
no PS5
no, you don't have one. You don't have one. I know you don't because I checked. I've given up. I've literally given up.
There was one time around Christmas time, I call it a Christmas miracle, where I was walking from work. I was bored, it's killing time, and to our equivalent of GameStop, we have a CEX, and they do your trade and things like that. I see in the window this Xbox One X standing gracefully just in the display. I wasn't going to buy it because even CEX were selling it at extortionate prices, £700. It's marketed at I think 500, and they're selling it for more because they're like, okay, we know we can squeeze a bit of money out of anyone silly enough to buy it at this price. And yeah, that's the thing. That's the only time I've seen a next gen console in person. I don't think I'll ever see one again.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to get a PS5, right? Because I want to play next gen. I want to play some games on next gen. Not just the zombie stuff. But here's the thing. I don't want to break my back to try to find one. I mean,
there's a lot of factors as well why it's a lot better to hold off.
Yeah.
One being, do you have a 4K monitor?
No, I don't think anyone really does.
Exactly.
If
you did have a 4K monitor, does it support 120 hertz? Probably not, because they're very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they're going to be adding in 8K. Well, that sounds stupid. They're going to be doing something to make it so you can, I think, upscale your console to 8K.
There's going to be
run
something.
like an absolute potato. It's going to run it's going to look like I don't know, like a movie from 1950s with the frame rate, but they're going to do that, and there's just no point. It's hard to get. I remember back when Xbox One, PS4 came out, right?
Yeah.
I remember TVs and monitors 1080p, high refresh rates not being over 500. I remember them being around 200, 250 mark maybe if it was a good one. And now it's just oh no, these are actually going to cost you that. I was looking, if you wanted to maximize your PS5, you'd have to buy an 8K TV, right?
Why?
How much they go for? Easily over $2,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean,
over about if you're crunching the numbers and it's a bit over $2,000, almost around 5 times the price of a PS5.
Doesn't Black Ops Cold War crash really often on PC as well?
The game
PC,
does
PS5.
not run well. Well, yes, the game does not run well on PS5.
That's what I was hearing.
For some reason, I've heard another complaint. I remember a tweet from Greg FPS. I could be wrong. I think it's right though. He was like, I keep crashing on PS5. I'm going to go back to my PS4 where the game doesn't crash. Don't get me wrong. The game looks crisp at 4K, but who cares? And the thing is, with COD especially, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's worth that much of an upgrade, to be honest. Because we play zombies, right? And it's nice for it to look crisp, like caught in 4K. It looks very, very nice and crisp, right?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, it's like I don't need it right now. I can wait like a few years. I have my Xbox One X that kind of does 4K, and that has all my games on it. So I really don't mind waiting.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
I'm perfectly fine with my PlayStation. I got all my games.
Exactly.
I've got PC. I have,
which is better.
got Black Ops
You
3
could play
Custom
it.
Zombies on PC. I got my Black Ops 3 on PS4. I got Cold War.
What capture card do you have?
I have a HD 60 Plus.
HD 60 Plus.
Or S Plus, I think, actually. HD 60 S Plus.
Oh, your capture card. No. I meant your graphics card. I don't know why I said.
Oh, I was gonna say. No, I got a I got a 2080.
2080, right? Well, you could pretty much run 4K at that anyway. You probably couldn't match a PS5 in the frame rate, but
if I really cranked everything up, But
yeah, like here's the thing as well, Phil. Right? Frame rate is so much more important than like resolution. Don't get me wrong, resolution can make things so much more crisp and stuff. But when it really comes down to it, that frame rate and FOV, I should say as well, which isn't on things like Warzone, which we'll be talking about very shortly.
Dude, I want my slider. I want my Warzone FOV slider on console, man.
I don't think they're gonna add in. They said in a thing, they tried doing it, and the consoles did not like it.
The thing is, too, is do you really think you want them adding new things that aren't going to work in Warzone?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Warzone's cool. I like Plunder. I play Plunder more than I play actual Battle Royale. But here's the thing about it. You have so many, like, every update you get for Warzone, Stim glitch is always back. Something's broken. Players are invisible. There's always fucking update, there's something.
That's the thing, right? I play Warzone a lot more. I've actually reinstalled it because I haven't played it in like ages. So I reinstalled it, and I'm going to play it a bit because I'm working on a few videos.
Dude, let's hop into some games.
Yeah, I'd be up for doing it other than just zombie stuff. Because zombies is, other than the season 2 update, it's a bit stale. So I want to kind of put more time into other stuff as well. That's why I'm going through like a lot of the past games and doing reviews and things like that. That's my plan for the next coming year, most likely. But what's it?
You also got zombies going around the Warzone map, so
Yeah, here's the thing, right? It's funny you bring that up. They are almost identical to the way the Exo Zombies ran.
You know what? That's a great comparison because I was thinking to myself, these zombies are really freaking weird. Why do they run so weird? And now that you brought that up, that makes a lot of sense.
When you go back to Exo Zombies, right? First of all, they have the shockers. First of all, in Warzone, they have the shockers and they have the ones that blow up, right?
Right.
And kind of the toxic gas, right?
Uh-huh.
Back in Exo Zombies, we always had the shockers, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And they react in the same way. They come they're not like normal zombies. They're like their body movements are so weirdly smooth, right? I don't know what that was, but they're so weirdly smooth that when I was playing it, I was like, that must be kind of ported over from Exo Zombies or something.
I could see that. I could see that.
So when I was playing, I was like, that is how they ran. That shocker zombie guy is almost identical to the way it works. The way it's it shocks you and stuff. I'm like, okay, well that's interesting.
I'm telling you though, man, the zombies on the map it's really fun. Have you done the Warzone zombies events at all?
I went in to the TV station because that's where all the zombies were invading at the time, and I activated it. Okay, let's do this, and that's what I did with that. And that was it.
I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that
definitely.
You kill all the zombies, then you get the card and you open up the loot chest. I think that's really cool. Especially for a game like Plunder. Like, if you can secure the area where the zombies are for your whole game of Plunder, you will have a great chance of winning the game. Because not only do you get a bunch of cash when you open up the chest with the access card, but the zombies also drop money on Plunder. So you're just constantly getting cash. Players are going to be coming straight to you. If you can kill the players, they have money too. It's just, The zombie areas are a really good place to be when you play
Yeah.
Warzone.
Here's like the thing as well. Like, it's just from where Warzone was from the start. I kind of when it first came out, I played it a lot. I went with my friends every day. This is before Cosmic did YouTube. And or not before, but it was kind of like around the time before I probably got into YouTube, and it wasn't all cringe and
it wasn't cringe.
That first 2 months you start, anything you make is just absolute cringe, and there's not really anything.
Fair enough.
So that's when I kind of started playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. Like your friends would be screaming like, it's a overall really fun. It was a fun mode at least.
Oh, yeah.
And then I kind of dropped off it because of Cold War. First of all, I went back to more zombies because zombies started getting popular again. Because during the Warzone time, zombies was at an all time low. Like it was just so. It was kind of dry. Like because one of my theories is
Black Ops 4 happened.
Well, yes, but
which saddens me to say that, but I mean, it's just the truth that no one really paid attention to Black Ops 4. So
yeah, but the thing is, as well, is COD Zombies is so driven by the community. Like,
I can see that.
The thing is, right? Like, if people, first of all, the game has to be good. Don't get me wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
The game has to be pretty good. And for the first week of Black Ops 4 being out, I really enjoyed the game, to be honest. I thought it was really fun. And I think a lot of other big content creators really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
And then they kind of started falling off it. And I think a lot of people that play the game have this connection to the content creator, right? Like, oh, I love watching Lex or anyone like that.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Then they see that they don't like it, and then that spark, like both nostalgia from the top 5 days, or just you overall enjoying their content, kind of goes. It's like, oh, well, now they're not enjoying it. I'm not really enjoying it either. And I mean that I think that's just the way it kind of works. Like
that is a good point. I mean, a lot of people were definitely swayed by a lot of content creators not liking Black Ops 4, and
again, that's
all
not
the crashes.
Anything against them.
Of course,
the game had problems.
The game obviously had problems at release. I was one of the lucky ones who didn't have all those problems really at release.
Same here.
I got an actually good experience with Black Ops 4, and it made me really enjoy the game, and I really like the game actually now. And
if I'm being honest,
actually, since the beginning, I've liked the game. I think Black Ops 4 gets way too much fucking hate. To be honest, I think there's a lot of things in that game that are really good. Still,
like, don't get me wrong. I think the map variety first of all in that game's good. I love how it's like our traditional Black Ops 4 talk. We have to have our Black Ops 4 talk
every episode.
We can't sleep. Every episode we can't sleep.
Every episode, but Black Ops 4 has to be mentioned in some way.
I feel like Warzone at the time of that really dry period was just something for people to play. Whether you're like a zombie fan or not really a zombie fan, I feel like everyone kind of gave it a try because, free to play.
True.
Big scale. The game runs really well in pretty much anything, which is really surprising because you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it at all.
What's funny to me is I think a lot more people tried to play Warzone 2 because I think when Warzone released, Fortnite started its downtrend.
Oh, yeah. No.
And what's funny to me, I saw this on Twitter earlier today and the past couple days. People are going back to Blackout. And people are like, Blackout is great. And, oh my gosh, Blackout compared to Warzone, wow, we had it so good. And then I just go, guys, it's been there the whole time. I mean, I think the main reason why Blackout just didn't really work was because Fortnite was still really popular. And just a lot of people fell off of Black Ops 4 because they didn't like Black Ops 4. And I don't think a lot of people gave it a fair chance because of all the glitches and all the game-breaking crashes, which I get it. Who wants to play a game that's really glitchy and buggy? But again, for the people like us who had a lucky break and didn't get those, I think we had a lot more fun with Black Ops 4 than a lot of other people did.
Well, I think first of all, let me ask you this. What do you personally prefer, Blackout or Warzone?
I still prefer Warzone over Blackout. even though Blackout is cool, I get to play as the zombies characters, I like the fact that, I got to find attachments, and that's kind of cool, right? Really, the main thing that I think Warzone is better than Blackout in is Warzone's game modes. I like Plunder a lot. I like Rebirth Island, which, of course, we had Alcatraz Island and Blackout, which is literally the same thing, okay? Rebirth Island is the same layout. It's just Russian and Cold War style. But yeah, I think I just like Warzone a little bit better just because of Plunder and because of the just the overall, how do I explain it? I think Warzone, like the Modern Warfare engine, works better with a Battle Royale than a Black Ops 4 engine, even though I do like Blackout. It's been a while since I played Blackout. Maybe I'll play it on stream sometime soon.
Yeah, I need to get on it at some point as well.
But, I don't know. I just prefer Warzone just a little bit more just because of the extra game modes.
Here's my thing, right? Like, well, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people really enjoy Battle Royales because they're the main thing right now, right? Until the next trend comes along, which probably won't be for a while.
What's the next trend?
I know, that's what sidetracking for a second. What do you think it would be? Like, I think it'll be going back to something. What?
I got a hot take. I got the next trend right now. Hot take. The next trend is esports.
Probably.
That's the next trend. Games are going to be more and more competitive. We're going to see a huge culture shift. Skill-based matchmaking is here to stay in Call of Duty. Games like Valorant esports, that's getting more popular. Rocket League esports, any esports really, you could technically make an argument for getting bigger and bigger. And I think because people are going to be more competitive by nature, and because that's a bigger and bigger market, esports is going to be a huge explosion over the next 5-10 years. And I am ready to ride that wave. I
agree with you. Tell me what do you think it is that makes the esports so interesting, right? Because obviously
competition,
competitive stuff in general is fun to watch. Like, it's been for generations, like sports and things like that. Wait, here's one thing I never get, right? Like, you see the older generation,
right?
And this is kind of baffles me because it sounds so simple when you say it out like loud, right? And I'm not hating on anyone who has this opinion. It's your opinion. You can think whatever you want.
Okay.
But okay, right? So there's people that are baffled by the idea you'd want to watch people play a game, right?
Right.
Like, why would you want to watch someone play a video game? Why would you just play it yourself, right?
Right.
A very common opinion amongst the older generations, right?
Okay.
And then you bring up the argument of sports, like why wouldn't you want to go play like football or something, right? Have you ever experienced that before?
Here's the thing. No, not really. I think the whole thing is with esports, it's going to be much more entertaining to watch people because you have let's plays and stuff like that, which I like watching people play zombies and watch people play this, that, blah, blah, blah. But with esports, it's going to be so much more entertaining over the next years as the industry continues to boom with more and more games being added to it. I think zombies esports has a lot of potential as well.
This year, it's been a really good year for esports. Like last year and like this year even. Just like it's been really good for them.
It's been a good like 4 years because think about it this way: Fortnite. Remember that Fortnite event? I forgot what it was called because I don't follow Fortnite. But Booga, literally won like $3 million, I think it was, playing Fortnite. $3 million to play Fortnite. If that doesn't tell you that esports is already becoming a huge thing, I don't know what will. Because, I mean, that's an insane amount of money for an industry that's still relatively a newer concept. You had competitive Call of Duty back in the day. The Call of Duty World League is what it was called before it was the Call of Duty League. And you had that stuff, which was, higher scale events, in person, all this kind of stuff, right? But esports is getting so much bigger. And Zombies World Championship is proof of that. Because it's in Vegas. Yeah. It's at the HyperX Esports Arena. HyperX is a big brand. They got this massive stadium, state of the art. Just, it looks beautiful. And the fact that even a zombies event can have enough traction to pull that kind of publicity and it can pull that kind of venue, where else can Call of Duty go? Where else can Valorant go? You know, are we going to be selling out the LA Convention Center with just a bunch of esports events, like things like that? You know, I think this could be just boom. Just one day it's going to go boom. And there's going to be this league. You know, you have the Call of Duty League over here. You have the Call of Duty Zombies League. You have the Call of Duty Warzone League. You have Valorant here, Fortnite, whatever it is. There's just going to be so many things, and people are going to be so creative with it that I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it. And we have Mohammed in the chat saying, for the past 4 years, esports has been popping. It's bigger every year. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And, like, here's the thing as well, right? You know, like with sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That has so much like IRL sports. It has so much limitations, right? Where it's a thing you have to really do in person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has to create enough traction for it to be able to fund that event. Like if a sport isn't entertaining to watch or not doing well, it's gonna be very, very hard to fund that event without like some money somewhere else, right?
Definitely.
With games, it's first of all there's the whole online play. You can do stuff through online and do things through that way. But there's such a variety of games. Like think on the top of your head, Minecraft, CS:GO, Valorant, Call of Duty. Like Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much there that there's so much variety, and it's like, wow. Does Battlefield have esports?
Not that I know of right now, because I don't follow Battlefield. But when the new Battlefield game comes out, I think they should absolutely capitalize on Battlefield esports.
Yeah,
I would follow it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen with Battlefield. I've seen a lot more people in the COD community are hyped for Battlefield than the next COD
because everyone hates skill-based matchmaking.
And the thing is as well. I think it's the whole World War II setting as well. We're like, oh, we don't want World War II. It's like, okay, you know, like fair enough. It's
the thing is, man, I care, but I don't care at the same time. If you can make a good World War II game, go for it. I'm all for it, right? But if it's just like another copy paste of World War II or World at War or Call of Duty 2, like, you know, I just then that's kind of like it's gonna be boring.
I feel like it's really hard to like make a World War II sort of setting game that isn't really generic because the market was so saturated a long while ago. World War II games, they're pretty much everywhere. That's all COD really released for like the first like 3 or 4 years of the game, and then they just left it for so long, and they come back with a game that turned out to be okay towards the end. It was pretty fun. And Battlefield as well, obviously. Like you see Battlefield 5, people don't play that game because it's just boring, right? Don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of problems with stuff, and I just another thing I fear about Valorant. What was it? Not Valorant. What was they calling World War II?
Vanguard.
Are they going to keep it super realistic, like they tried to do with World War II first of all, and then they completely changed it halfway through?
I don't know. Good question.
Because remember that whole thing. They're like, oh yeah, we want this to be historically accurate, and then halfway through, it was like, okay, let's make it so people actually enjoy our game. You know, like
I think you can make a historically accurate Call of Duty game and make people enjoy it. You just got to put in a little bit of extra work, and you got to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's, and you know you got to make sure everything is super accurate, and
make sure the game's up.
Make sure that there's definitely a way to do it, but you know the Call of Duty community, people aren't going to be happy. No matter what you do, people aren't going to be happy, even if they do make if they make a historically realistic or like real life realistic game where, oh, you have the real life weapons and the names and the attachments and how the weapons fire. And, oh, this event happened in history and this is in the game and everything's like super perfect, right? People are still going to complain that it's, oh, well, this isn't suspending my disbelief. Right.
Yeah, like I feel like
So I feel like the developers are in a pretty tough situation. I mean, not to say that the developers have done enough. I think the developers on every team, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, I think they can all do more. I think they could. There could definitely be some more they can add, but I do feel bad for them at the same time because number one, the community backlash, and number two, maybe they just don't have the time, maybe they just don't have the money, maybe they don't have the manpower. I don't know. And I get the feeling, just a little intuition in my head, that I feel like the developers do want to do more, but they just can't for some reason.
There's Activision, funding, things like that.
So there's two sides to the story. So I'm not going to be jumping at the developers and be like, well, I hate your game because you're not doing exactly what I want you to do. It's like, nah, I have my own opinion. And I'm going to say I don't like this, but I'm not going to hate them. Just because I know there are things that are going behind the scenes, I've kind of more leveled out over the years where it's like, if you're not doing something really shitty with the game, like, I don't know, just something really bad, then I'm not going to be super frustrated. I'm just going to be like, this is kind of shit. I don't have to play it.
Yeah, I feel like what people really need to learn, or not learn, I'm not going to be like preaching like all that stuff. I think what I'd advise people to do is not to take it too seriously. Because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a way for you to have fun, right? If you don't enjoy the game, fair enough. Just come off it, maybe try again in a few days, weeks, or whatever, shrug it off, right? You haven't enjoyed the past 5 games, so why would you enjoy this one?
Because everybody gets caught in the COD cycle. And we were just talking about this before the stream started. There's a Call of Duty cycle where everyone loves the game, and then later on they hate the game, and then they say how the past game was the best game ever, and then they wait for the new game, and then the new game is great for a week, and and it's like, can we? I don't know. I feel like this community needs to be a little bit more positive.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. All I know is I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go in and be like, okay, I'm gonna have a try fun. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do like it, I do like it. Right. I think, to me personally, multiplayer, multiplayer is gonna be the thing I really care about the most, because World War II setting for zombies, like, who cares? We all love World at War, so why wouldn't we love this? So multiplayer for me would be like the thing, like, is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? If there's good maps, kill streaks, and guns,
it's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna have a good time. Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time regardless. I would prefer if it was a modern setting, because ideally for me, I like that modern setting. I like a modern setting because, and hear me out here, they can go back into the past. Oh, I just hit something. My phone stand, I just hit.
My phone.
What I was saying. It's all good. It's all good. I was just saying, and obviously with a modern setting, we can go back to World War II, take weapons from that time period, and bring them forward. Right.
And you can go into the future.
We can do that. We can do that. And to a certain extent, even like if you really want to, you could just, it's a lot more, I'm not going to say realistic, but I think it doesn't look silly adding in laser guns into a modern game, because it looks more goofy and silly.
Yeah, it would be like, the season 1 of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, right? And it's like, the modern age goes technologically advanced, and it's like, that's the theme of the season, right? And I think that would fit well.
I was thinking, what about this, right? What if we had a Call of Duty game, right? And each season was a different time period.
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be great.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be so fun.
I don't know. I mean, if you hate like every setting except the future, you're going to be in for a rough first like 3/4 of the game. But
I guess, yeah.
But there you go.
I mean, it could work. World War II, World War I, and then you go into like the 80s weaponry. I don't know, something like that. If the timeline of weaponry. How about we just go all the way back to like the 1700s and we use muskets?
Honestly, why not? Just have a game mode where it's that. Just do it.
Dude, it's muskets only. What would a musket be in Call of Duty? Would it be like a marksman rifle? Would it be a sniper? Would it be a tactical rifle? What would it be?
I think it just have its
special
own individual slot. I think it have its own individual slot. Just God. Yeah, that's God it. Just its own slot. Next to pistol or something, just God.
I mean, it would. I can imagine this weapon being maxed out damage, right? But the accuracy is like this much on the scale, because
like if you hit something,
don't have the rifle barreling.
But the chances of you killing it are so low. You're not gonna hit it. I also want to ask you, because this is what I was referring to earlier. Warzone, which we're talking about as well. I didn't really care too much, but a lot of the Call of Duty community were super excited for this amazing new Warzone map that was going to fix the game, get rid of the hackers, get rid of all the campers, get rid of everything like that, and it was going to be like Blackout 2.0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now what it appears is from a leaked trailer, which Activision aren't liking too much. Someone spilled the beans. And
I didn't know there was a leaked trailer. Hang on a second. There's a leaked trailer?
Yeah, but I think it's kind of hard to find, and it's not finished either. The trailer isn't finished. It's like snippets from the trailer.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch later when it comes out in a week or two, maybe.
Yeah, true. But the idea behind this trailer is Verdansk is still the same map. It just has an 80s paint over.
Now that I did hear that they were going to do an 80s theme for Verdansk.
Now, honestly, myself, I don't mind too much because I don't really mind if they're adding new locations and stuff. I really don't care, right?
Right.
I think Warzone on its own is a pretty decent map. I think it's pretty well laid out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I guess this is just from me being like I don't play the game too much, so I'm sure if my opinion is really bad about me actually liking the Warzone map, I'm sure I'll hear about it on Twitter later. But I'm sure I'll hear about there or something like, oh, Cosmic's a bad player because he doesn't like the Warzone map. He doesn't like the Warzone map.
That's pretty funny.
Get out of here. You're not a real Call of Duty fan. As long as they add locations, for me, I don't really care. I'm sure they could do a lot with it. I'm bummed out we probably won't be seeing the map that was been worked on for ages. Or maybe it'll be a combination of both. Who knows? Maybe they'll add the new giant parts to the map outside what we haven't actually discovered yet.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not going to know until then. What do you think about that?
I think it's a missed opportunity. I think it's totally a missed opportunity to continue to add new maps to Warzone. And I don't mind the idea of an 80s theme Verdansk either. I think it could be fun. It's a fun little cosmetic change just for the hell of it, right? I just don't want the update to be 100 gigabytes.
Which it will be.
Which it probably will be. So, I mean, that's the only unfortunate thing. Like I said earlier, it's a missed opportunity to continue to add new Warzone maps because I like the Verdansk map. I like Rebirth Island. That's fun as well. But more. I feel like if you continue to add more things to Warzone, add a new map, add new features, add new vehicles or new weapons to it or whatever, right? Which I think they are going to add a new weapon. I think it's a pistol. Then more people will be more inclined to play even more. But the fact that this other map allegedly, right? I mean, this is all rumor and, for the most part it's a rumor, right? Because I'm very much, I'll believe it when I see it. So I'll take this with a grain of salt. But if this was something that was supposed to be 100% confirmed, like this was going to happen, it wasn't just an idea thrown out there and whatever, then it was totally a missed opportunity, and they should have done it. They should have gone for it.
It's funny because you say it'll be fun. I feel like it'll be the same kind of fun that Jingle Hells were. That kind of fun where it's like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and then you play it, and then it's like, right.
Well, Jingle Hells was zombies, but it lacked like normal features of a zombies map.
Personality. It lacked personality, Jason.
It lacked a mystery box. Like zombies didn't have a mystery box in Jingle Hells.
How is that a game mode?
And they totally missed the opportunity for the mystery box to be like an actual present as well. But I mean, I guess you had the presents scattered around the map, and that's how you got your weapons. But whatever, I don't care. Jingle Hells is a thing of the past. It was fun while it lasted.
And now, hopefully, we never see it again.
And now we're going to get Easter Bunny Rumble for Easter, probably. I don't know.
Hell yeah. Easter Bunny Rumble.
Just the Megaton is replaced by a giant
bunny
Megaton.
ears.
Or the Megaton is replaced by a giant Easter rabbit. It's just, I don't know.
Just a giant rabbit.
But anyways, so Warzone, definitely missed opportunity. Definitely missed opportunity for that. Man, Call of Duty, what a crazy game, what a crazy community sometimes, I'm telling you.
My camera was
high five. Yeah, high five. Let's go.
My camera was unfocused for a second. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Nah, your camera's trying to focus on your Juggernaut fridge in the background.
Catching it in 8K.
Dude. Good old Juggernaut. Man, I think it's kind of cool though. I was just thinking about the zombie event in Warzone, and I think that's a really cool feature. I just realized this too. Blackout kind of did that first with you go to Ghost Town, you go to Asylum, which was literally Verrucked, and the zombies are already there. You didn't need like an actual event for like, oh, the zombies are here. The zombies are just always there, which it's definitely something a lot of people don't take into consideration. I think where Blackout really did try to innovate, and Blackout really did try its best to stand out, but I think just because of Fortnite and all that kind of stuff, it just was pushed backwards.
It needed to be different than a basic battle royale, which you had at the time, and it did do that. But the zombies, the iconic maps, just everything about Blackout was Treyarch. I feel like it was really like a Treyarch game, and a
Treyarch's attempt.
And it's sad that we probably won't ever see. Well, I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll see Trek, because I know Warzone's gonna be around for at least like the next 10 years, which no one plays it anymore.
No one's gonna be touching Warzone at all. Like Warzone right now is at the top of the battle royale scene. I mean, there's no touching it right now,
unless they bring out like Minecraft 2 or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Minecraft 2. What would Minecraft 2 even be? Everything's a fucking circle instead of a square. Like,
honestly, I just imagine like you know the memes of what Minecraft stuff look like in real life, and it's like Minecraft Steven. It's just like a really textured face. Just that's how it would look. Everything.
Oh man, Minecraft 2, that's a weird concept to think about, because Minecraft is already so perfectly made.
Yeah, I can imagine the trailer. It's like just like the Minecraft logo, and then it's like the do you know, the peaceful music. And then it's like a bit of a remix, and then it just flashes two underneath. Or like the Avengers theme.
It's the same thing that you've played before, but two.
Well, after this, I mean, Minecraft is a great concept, and I love Minecraft, and I don't think, honestly, if I want to relax, Minecraft's the game to go on. I have to go back on the realm. I haven't touched the realm in ages.
Dude, I gotta go back and see what my house looks like now. I know on your realm there were people. Someone was helping me work on my house, and my nether portal got stolen. I remember that. That was fun.
That's what happens in Minecraft. But anyway, I think we're at the exciting topic that we planned before the show went live.
Oh boy.
For people that are here, you'll see in my title, we are going to be discussing. It's maybe something we'll do regular on the podcast, but it's going to be.
We're going to test something out here today.
Yeah, we're going to do a debate, the topics, it's mostly going to be zombies, I'd imagine, because zombies is what we talk about on this podcast, and maybe in the future we'll incorporate you guys into it as well, if you're giving us suggestions or something to debate about.
Who knows?
But who knows? But today's topic is going to be about Alpha Omega.
Yes.
Now, I really don't like Alpha Omega, and Jason does like Alpha Omega. And today's topic is we're going to be debating whether it's a good map or a bad map.
You know what this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of JC Backfire's Zombie Showdown that he tried to do with the Boogie Boys.
Oh, yeah.
This reminded me of that. I just realized right now. So do I give super Mimi answers? Maybe. Nah, I'm okay. But Alpha Omega is a good map, because the ray guns play really well on the map. Number one. Number two, it's Nuketown, and we're familiar with Nuketown, and I think Nuketown Zombies is fun personally. And then you also have Ultimus and Primus together in the same spot, which I think is a really cool concept, because, it's two crews that you really haven't seen interact in game. You've seen them interact in like other cutscenes like the Giant and Horizon Track and all that, whatever. But like now they actually get to interact and survive together, and the voice lines and the dialogue is fun. I like the certain steps of the Easter egg where you go and talk to Peter McCain, who's in the mannequin body, and the Avogadro from Transit is the boss fight. That kind of stuff is cool. It's a difficult boss fight though, but it's a rewarding boss fight. I think it's a really fun one. If you can, you gotta really stay on your toes, and you really gotta, I think that's kind of cool. Going back to the ray guns again, the elemental ray guns I think are really unique. Not really elemental, but they're variants of the ray guns. The X, Y, Z, and V, really good variants. I think all of them have their own purposes. And I think those are my keynotes. Those are my bullet points on why I like Alpha Omega.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
Well, as I do respect your opinion, and I want to say as well before I go to my points before destroying the map, I completely respect that Treyarch had a time crunch. I know Blackout was getting all the support, but facts don't have feelings, and the fact is that Alpha Omega is an awful map. It is so bad, and we're gonna start from when you spawn in. Okay, we're gonna start from when you spawn in.
Wow.
Right? First of all, you leave the spawn area. Right, you go up, you jump off. You can't ever touch that area again. Right, you're never going back there again. So that's 10%. That's 5% of the map you're never getting back into. So first of all, you're not getting back into that part of the map that you came out of. Second of all, I just want to discuss how the overall map design is. It's not even like it's Nuketown. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it's just so close quarters. It suffers from what Voyage suffers, where you can't do anything in half the map because on the higher rounds and maybe even the lower rounds when things get a bit hectic, you aren't going to get through the narrow corridors, which you'll be able to do on games like Black Ops 3 or Black Ops Cold War. As far as the Wonder Weapons go, while I will agree with you, their abilities are quite unique. I think they just look kind of dumb with the stuff they do. I feel like they intended to have different... hear me out here, right? I feel like the Wonder Weapons, and I could be perfectly wrong here, the abilities they have, as cool as they are, I feel like maybe originally they had a different idea for Wonder Weapons on that map. And they had a different idea for concepts for the Wonder Weapons, for the abilities coming out. Again, don't get me wrong, they're cool, they're nostalgic. But for me personally, they look kind of goofy with the things they do, right? They look kind of goofy, and honestly, not a super strong point. That's just a little side point to what my next argument is going to be. And that is going to be with the overall layout, like I was saying before, the bosses don't help it either, because there are many bosses on this map that are just not fun to deal with. Nova Crawlers normally are annoying, admittedly. They're not fun. I don't really like them in Kino. I don't think anyone really liked them in Kino, to be honest. I don't know why they keep bringing them back, right? But there's variants now. So there is the Shocker guy who goes on roofs and will shock you. There is the normal one that just kind of wanders about doing its thing. There is one that will actually hit zombies and make them stronger for some reason. Who knows why? And them zombies will run slightly faster and have more health. Now, all these things combined with Hellhounds as well, I'll remind you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roughly enemies that can come at you possibly once. Coming at you at once. I see you have a point there. What's your point?
No, I'm letting you finish because you let me finish. I'm just taking mental notes.
So if I make any errors, I will discuss them later on as well. Maybe them super buff guys only come out when you're down there, maybe, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. Or when you're doing sequences like the turning on the generator stuff. And you know something? Moving on from that point, Pack-a-Punch. Whose idea was that? The one thing players hate is setting up Pack-a-Punch, taking 20-25 minutes. Maybe if you're a good player, I'll take 15. And then losing it instantly later on because you couldn't go off and defend one of the generators. Now, normally what I'll say as well is once you're set up, it's not really a big factor. But the fact that you can even lose Pack-a-Punch in the first place is just really dumb. I feel like it's making the player move around more into these tight corridors, which are made to make you fail because they're the way the game engine is designed in Black Ops 4. I don't want to use the engine of Black Ops 4 as a main excuse. It's easy to I can blame anything on the engine.
I get what you're saying.
But with the map being so tight and you getting to them parts to undo Pack-a-Punch on the higher rounds as well, where you have a few Wonder Weapons, you have your specialist weapon as well, which you can maybe help you get through them. But if you're on round 60 and you want a Pack-a-Punch one of your guns, which you haven't Pack-a-Punch for some reason, it's not going to be ideal to leave your spot or whatever and then go there. Another thing I'll say as well, if I'm not mistaken, is that first of all, there are no base traps on the map. If I remember correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there is a way to. Well, actually, there is. I think there might be a trap downstairs, but the main important trap you will want to use is up top. And to get access to that trap, you have to do, I think, the first or second Easter egg step in something in the house, and then you'll be able to access that trap. Which is one of the main high round strategies for that map, because in that map there are near to none training spots. Because don't get me wrong, I know Black Ops 4 all of it is camping, and there's methods to get the high rounds which are really easy. But for Alpha Omega, I think your playstyle is limited to camping. I can't think of 1 or 2 good training spots on that map, to be quite honest. Sure, maybe the middle area you can do something.
Yeah, that's a good area.
But that's only going to last so long before the rounds get even more hectic. I think with the player dialogue, don't get me wrong, the player dialogue is great. I love the fact that they can play it as Primus and Ultimates, obviously. But to be quite honest as well, the story of Alpha Omega is very messy. And I feel like they really, 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 with that intro cutscene, were trying to make us feel like we're going perhaps in a different direction. I know I know that's not really a problem with the map. I mean, if you remember seeing it,
right? You know, it made you think that the Great War was going to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone now.
See, the thing is, though, that's not a problem with Alpha Omega, though. It's just a problem with the map. Or not the map, the story.
Well, yeah, you're right with the map.
God damn it. No. It's just a problem with the story and how like they teased the Great War and then it just never happened.
But here's the thing, right? As much as I don't like Black Ops 4 pretty much in general, right? I don't hate the game. I enjoy it sometimes. I feel like the one thing it has strong is its story. And throughout Alpha Omega, and we can blame this on other sequences, there are a lot of errors. And most of them come in the outro cutscene, where you'll remember we actually nuked Nuketown, boom, kaboom, Nuketown's gone, and then we see our outro cutscene, and it is completely fixed, which I never really understood. Perhaps you can enlighten me on that. Perhaps
I don't know. I don't know that.
You don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
maybe there's a theory. Maybe there's because that is continuity completely broken.
That is
all we know is.
That is story continuity broken. We are talking about a zombies map.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about the story factors as well, which I think are pretty. Because if we were talking about the map in general, Cold War Zombies would be the best maps we've ever had. But I think a lack of personality for the maps that people notice. Myself, I'm like, I don't really care too much, but people really criticize the maps having no personality and makes them boring.
Okay.
The map could be the best map in the world. Like if Alpha Omega had a decent layout and was fun to play and had the personality, it could be top 5 maps, right? The problem is which people forget is that they focus on story over gameplay.
No, I definitely give you that one. They did focus a lot more on story over gameplay in Black Ops 4, and that definitely hurt the game as a whole. Yeah. And the reputation that they had in the community. However, I think with Alpha Omega, you mentioned, right? You mentioned the bombers, right? Nova bombers.
Yes.
I hate them too. Don't get me wrong. They're one of the worst enemies we've ever seen, right? You don't have to make them spawn in. You can.
How?
You can stay on top of the map. You can stay in the cul-de-sac. You can stay in the houses, right? And that's where mainly your high rounds are going to be, is on top. You're going to be in the cul-de-sac. You're going to be hoarding up your zombies around there in that area. The thing is with the traps, though, when you get the traps from the Easter egg steps, I think it's honestly, traps were just one of those things that were just on the map that is just like kind of a throwaway thing, right? I think when you make a trap be a reward after you've done an Easter egg step, it's an incentive. So not only are you completing Easter egg steps, you're doing more things in the map, you are doing something for something. You're being rewarded for doing an extra task that you wouldn't normally do, and that reward is a good trap. The fan blade trap in one of those houses, I think it's the yellow house that has that. You're being rewarded. You're being rewarded for doing extra things in the game, which I think is great, because traps are one of those throwaway things to me where it's just like, just put an electric trap over there. These traps are all unique in each of the houses in Alpha Omega. The only trap that's kind of throw it away is that electric trap in the bunker. I will give you the Pack-a-Punch thing. I hate Pack-a-Punch on Alpha Omega. That's the worst part about the map, in my opinion. I agree with you. However, the way Black Ops 4 Zombies is made, a lot of people will already be totally Pack-a-Punched before the time it's time for the generators to fuck off and die.
Yeah, no. Totally, yeah.
So you can let Pack-a-Punch go. You can kind of let it go. Now, granted, it shouldn't go in the first place, and I think that is a bad idea, and it's a bad feature. It's definitely not a perfect map, but I think Alpha Omega does definitely have the good parts about it. Like I said, the ray guns. The ray guns are great. I'm not sure. Maybe just because it's a personal thing, I'm not sure how they're weird, But
I get maybe that's more of a personal thing. Like
I guess
think,
it's a personal preference, but I think they're really cool. I like the different colors.
I guess you could kind of look at it as like the Tundra gun, like that
Tundra
that's
gun
a bit
is
more
interesting.
Yeah, well, you see it. You say interesting, right? It's different to the Thunder Gun, and I think that just makes it a bit like, okay, that's how you work then. While I will agree that the traps does add an incentive as well for you to use it, I think I'm going to try and make a bit of a counterpoint. Now, it might not be a strong one, but okay. I don't know if I want to say that actually. I might keep that for later on if I need to use that. If I need to use it,
he's got a secret. He's got a secret argument.
So, yeah, for the enemies that you what they call the bombers. That's right, the Nova bombers. Yeah, right. What are the annoying things about them?
Well, I mean, they strengthen the normal zombies, which I agree is terrible.
Yeah. So we're talking about, okay. I think it's quite hard to determine what's an issue and what isn't an issue because, like, it's depending on your play style as well. Like, Definitely. It's such a hard factor. Like, they could either really mess up your game or not, depending on what you're doing. If you're playing in team play, then you know that's going to be pretty difficult to deal with them if you're running about constantly. I imagine you'll be pack-a-punching a lot more as well if you're playing with friends because you're trying to play casual, maybe a bit.
I will definitely say Alpha Omega plays a lot better solo than with other people. I will say that is definitely a good point.
Yeah, I think that's maybe on account of the map being not small, but the playable areas are, again, very limited, like I said, because on the higher rounds, and don't get me wrong, this goes for past games as well, I just feel like with Alpha Omega, I feel like half the maps you really can't play in without using the Black Ops 4 system. And don't get me wrong, Black Ops 4 system, they're there to be used, right? They're there to be used, but it's just, it's so tight that I feel like Alpha Omega is the polar opposite of what Cold War Zombie does, and that's why I hate it.
You mentioned earlier that Alpha Omega suffers the same problem as Voyage of Despair does, and I understand where you're coming from. However, where Voyage of Despair constantly suffers with that is Voyage of Despair is way tighter than Alpha Omega, number one. And number two, Voyage of Despair spawns in way more special enemies than Alpha Omega does. Now, don't get me wrong. I hate the Nova Bombers, but there's a way to get the Nova Bombers to not spawn in if you play your strategy on the surface level. Jolting Jacks, you got to deal with Jolting Jacks, It's kind of annoying when they snipe you from across the frickin' planet. However, it's not a yellow catalyst, a blue catalyst, a green catalyst, a red catalyst, a Blightfather, and a Stoker all at the same time on the same round. You have 2 mini bosses and 4 special enemies on Voyage of Despair, whereas on this map, I'm not even going to include the Hellhounds because Hellhounds we're already used to be honest. Zombies players are totally used to Hellhounds. We have just 2 special enemies. One of them you can negate, and one of them you can, make sure they don't spawn in. And the other one, you might get tagged up a little bit from on top of a roof or whatever, but they're pretty easy to take down. And especially if you use the elemental ray guns, they're really good against the more special enemies in Alpha Omega.
Okay, so answer my question.
Yes.
Do you think the map would overall play better if they just weren't on it?
I would agree that the map would play better if there were no Nova Bombers. I think the Jolting Jacks I can kind of look past a little bit. They're still kind of annoying, but if the Nova Bombers were removed, that is the point that I will give you, that the Nova Bombers are just a terrible enemy to deal with, and the map would play a lot better if there were no Nova Bombers.
Yeah,
it's definitely not a perfect map. Alpha Omega is not a perfect map.
No,
I just don't think it's. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's good. I think it's like a 7. I think before. What's an Origins?
What's an Origins?
Origins is like Origins has got to be like 8.5, 9.
Okay, so
here's how I do it. 7 is like good. That's like good, right? Like it's a pretty decent map. 6 is like it's fine, like it's okay. 5 is like, okay, this is all right, but it needs improvement. And then like 4 to 0 is like kind of the same to me. And then like 8 is like, oh, this is really good. 9 is like, this is fucking great. And 10 is like a masterpiece.
So is like 1 DS zombies or
1 would be DS zombies.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I can see that grading system. I mean, if I was to rate Alpha Omega, I think I kind of have to look at it through like just like I like looking at maps through gameplay. Story is totally there as well if you want to look for that, and I'll count that in. There is some funny dialogue, but there is definitely problems with the story that they're trying to create with that map. And I know they were rushed. I know it was rushed, but still it was there. There's so many continuities in the story. Maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe there's a reason why things are that way.
It's the Ether storyline. There's going to be so many things that no one's going to even touch on at the. It's just
exactly right. And I'm sure so many people don't even notice the small problems because of other stuff going on, right? But with the annoying inconveniences that are the Pack-a-Punch not being accessible, first of all, with the overall, I'll give you a point. It's not as tight as Voyage, but the it's just a tight. In my opinion, it's a tight map. I feel like there's a bit more wiggle room than a Voyage of Despair. Don't get me wrong. There's a bit more wiggle room, but I feel like it's just again. Like you're always next to a wall or something, like you're so typed in. There's no like, sure, there's open area and stuff, but like, at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm always like so close to something. And you can argue with that with other maps.
The tight areas can be remedied by good Wonder Weapon play, and I think that's what Alpha Omega has. I think Alpha Omega has good Wonder Weapon play. Why do you think? Right, and I just thought of this. Right, words. Mob of the Dead is a tight map as well. Yeah. You have the cell blocks. You have all these tight areas. But it's so easy to get out of because the Magma Gat, oh my God. The Acid Gat. The Acid Gat on Mob of the Dead is so fucking good that even though it's tough, but you are rewarded with a really good Wonder Weapon if you're good at playing the map.
Yeah. I feel like...
And Alpha Omega does the same thing. You get the infinite ammo one. You get the grenade launcher one. And then, I'm in a corner, bang, 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 and then you're fine.
I feel like with that argument though as well is
even Jason's got Blood of the Dead on his mind. Yes, Revived. I have Blood of the Dead on my mind.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's what I'll argue with, since we're talking about Mob, right? Yeah, Mob.
Yeah, right? Mob. That was the Mob comparison.
Yeah. I feel like Mob. I do agree. Very tight spaces sometimes, right? Very tight spaces.
But Mob is a masterpiece. Feel like Mob, that's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think Mob makes up for it, in multiple good training spots. You have, if we're talking about Mob, we have the canteen, first of all, which is obviously a great training spot. That's where most of the high round stuff happens. We have up top on the roof for someone who wants to train there. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but it's definitely something there. We have down at the docks. I know that is a somewhat popular training spot. Again, it can be dangerous.
Very dangerous.
But definitely still is there. And then we have not the warden's office, but the area just next to that. That is somewhere I've seen people train as well. And with the hordes of zombies not being so intense on the multiple, on the higher rounds, it's a lot easier to manipulate the zombies there. With Alpha Omega, I think, again, with you saying it works on solo play a lot better, it definitely does. Because, I mean, name 4 spots where you can kind of train.
On Alpha Omega.
And, don't get me wrong. I know
there's a
few. Okay.
Both backyards. It's tough. It's really tough, but you can train in both backyards.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't name 4, but I'll give you those 3.
Yeah, I think that's a thing as well. That's a fundamental problem with the map. Like, the fact that there's not, like, multiple areas, a good areas for people to train in. Again, I know camping is a play style, and arguments could differ. Like, because, like, obviously you could just be like, just camp. Camp. Right? But
we ain't campers.
Yeah, exactly. What 4 people want to train. You can't really do that in Alpha Omega without creating problems. But I think that's what differs something like Alpha Omega from something like that. I feel like
And you know what's funny about the rating scale that I mentioned earlier, right? I think I made a video a long time ago ranking all the Black Ops 4 maps from worst to best. I think I actually gave Alpha Omega an 8 instead of a 7, which I think I definitely rated it a little too high, just because maybe because I was still on the Black Ops 4 hype train at that point. But I think, Alpha Omega, I can see why it can also be an 8. Just because the wonder weapons really do carry Alpha Omega, I will say. I mean, I think the wonder weapons, like I keep saying, are really good. I just think, I say like a 7, 7.5 is probably a good rating for Alpha Omega. And then like, I don't know, maybe just because it could be a nostalgia. It could be a nostalgia thing that I like the ray guns.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I really enjoyed Alpha Omega when it came out. I mean, it could be a nostalgia thing because of the Ray Gun Mark II, and you have Ultimus and Primus interacting, and you have all this, it's like there's a lot of cool stuff on the map, I think, right? It could be a nostalgia thing that I like it, but at the same time, it takes old things and makes it newer, and it gives it a little bit of a style to it, that Black Ops 4 style that only Black Ops 4 can do. The only good things that Black Ops 4 can do with their style, is what I think is incorporated in Alpha Omega and Tagged or Toten and all the other maps in Black Ops 4. To be honest, they have their own little style to them, so I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious. On the scale, what would you rate Nact?
Knocked on a scale, I would say Knocked is like.
Because here's the thing. Here's the argument, right? Whilst you're thinking, right? And we're going to go back to Alpha Omega very shortly, right?
5.5.
5.5.
Like, it's okay. Like, it's bare bone. Like, here's the thing. Knocked, overrated.
It's the first song. That's the thing, right? The reason it's overrated is nostalgia, the first zombie map, and people always like, well, you can't be too harsh on Nectar and Toten.
I get that. You can't be too harsh on it because it is the first map, and that's where they started from. It's just like, I'm so bored. I'm so bored playing Knocked.
If you ask me what would I rather play for the rest of my life, Nact or Alpha Omega, I'd pick Alpha Omega because there's actually stuff to do in that map.
Right.
But like, I think for me, going back to Nact, I think going back to Alpha Omega, I think if I was to rate it, I think hear me out, right?
Okay.
I think for me, my 1 scale would be something on the lines of Busty Bow.
Okay.
There's not really
fair enough.
Don't get me wrong. It's not bad, but there's no content there, right? Like it's not like I mean. It's just the fact that's in like its own section where there's nothing there.
I feel that.
Don't get me wrong. These other maps are bad, but this just has nothing there, right? And then number 10, I think would have to be on the lines of maps like Shadows of Evil, Darius and Draka, Origins. I wouldn't put Darius up there. Darius is fun, but it's not.
Darius is like an 8.
An 8, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Alpha Omega.
10 out of 10 is for things like Mob of the Dead, Darius and Drak, like you were saying. Yeah. Those are 10 out of 10 maps to me.
Yeah.
So last thing for this debate.
Okay.
What is your rating of Alpha Omega out of 10? And who won this debate in the chat?
Yeah, and who won the debate?
And if you're watching this as a YouTube video later on, when this is all posted and whatnot, who won the debate? Is Alpha Omega a good map? Yes, it is. Or is it a bad map, like Cosmic is saying?
Well, first of all, I think it's a bad map.
Okay.
For people on my videos, so if you think it's a good map or bad map, it's a bad map. Just say it's a bad map. But if I was gonna rate it, I think the story has some appealing evidence there. I think it's one of the most Ether maps we've had because we have both sets of characters, which is cool. It's nice hearing Richtofen and being like, there are some great quotes in that map. And
I love
the dialogue. The dialogue in the map is the best thing about it, to be quite honest, because there's so much there.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters interacting with each other, and there's so many things like Primus Takio talking to Ultimus Richtofen about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
They even get really personal and deep. And if I'm not wrong, is Alpha Omega the map that they talk about Richtofen killing his younger self? I think it might be, is it?
I think so.
I think it is.
You might be right.
Dimension, what's it called? Dimension
63.
63, yeah. I think Alpha Omega is that map, and you hear him crying up about it, and he's like,
right.
"Oh no, actually, I don't know. Maybe that was Tag. I'm not going to give it the point."
Oh, I thought it was. I'll be honest with you, dude. I thought it was Alpha Omega as well.
Maybe it is Alpha Omega.
I don't
it
remember.
might be Alpha Omega.
That all just kind of that all just kind of isn't a blur to me. Like, that all just kind of meshes together whenever I hear that kind of stuff. I'm like, that could have been either Alpha Omega or Tactor Token. I don't know.
Now, you're giving your final rating, correct?
Yeah. 7. I would say 7 or 7.5 is a good rating.
Here's one thing I'll say. I'm surprised you didn't mention.
What I did not mention.
Rushmore. Hello?
Oh, I love Rushmore. Yeah, that's right.
Why did you? No, but you can't mention it now because you've left your point.
No, I'm still gonna say it. Rushmore's fucking great. You have awesome Easter eggs with Rushmore. I love him, and you know what? I love my country. So you know what? Rushmore is the true American AI that we all need. And you know, whenever you're feeling down and you're feeling sad, Rushmore will be there to lift your spirits as a proud American citizen. And you know,
and stuff.
No, I love Rushmore.
Right.
I absolutely love Rushmore.
Right. Well, I thought I'd mention that because that's quite a good feature about the map actually. So I will give it props for its good dialogue and also Rushmore as well. I'll give it that. Everything else, to be honest, with some of the story sometimes doesn't really like align with what's already been presented. With overall Black Ops gameplay, I'm not going to harp on that too much because you know I feel like anyone could just say Black Ops Toy Zombies engine bad, right? But as an actual map, right? Like I'll you know like the map overall being quite tight. I don't like just even without the Black Ops 4 engine. And again, what you're saying is that Mob of the Dead, you know, is a tight map, one of the best maps in the world. But Mob of the Dead makes up for it in multiple training spots for people to choose from. I know camping is more the playstyle for Black Ops 4, but if you don't want to camp, there's not really much there. We didn't touch on specialist weapons or anything because I don't feel like.
No, because specialist weapons are in every map in Black Ops 4, and there's really no need to mention that. So. My chat is saying that my points were a smidge stronger. There you go. My chat.
I don't know about that.
My chat takes my side.
I don't know about that. But no. Going to my final point, I think I would have to give it maybe and this is only because if I was ranking maps, it'd probably be almost at the bottom, right? But if I'm actually scaling it from like 1 to 10, the dialogue. Okay, personally, I don't like the map. I give it a 2, maybe a 3, right?
Wow. Okay.
If we're talking about the positive stuffs, I would maybe bump it up to like a 4.5.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe a 4.5. Don't get me wrong. I know there's stuff there. I just don't think it's a good map. Like it's just doesn't get the feels for me, you know. And for being the last map as well, we have really with Ultimates and you know Primus, and it's like, really, that's how you're gonna leave us off? Don't get me wrong, Tactor Toten's a great map, but like, I feel like the story should have. I know it ends with cutscenes and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of the people that like, oh, we never got a great war map. I'm so upset. I honestly, like, think about it now. I've kind of moved on.
Right.
But no, Alpha Omega, you know, I'll give you a 4. Alpha Omega just in general. Because...
So my rating for Alpha Omega is a 7. His rating is a 4. I might actually bump mine up to 7.5, like I said. So like 7 to 7.5. That's probably my rating. I'm actually really surprised I didn't mention Rushmore either. I was mainly thinking about the Wonder Weapons because I think that says something. The Wonder Weapons are so memorable.
Yeah, I think when we're debating as well. I think this was fun. First of all, we've been doing this for 20 minutes. Our normal episodes run for like an hour. This has bumped it up to. We did that for half an hour.
We did a half an hour of debating. There we go. Hey, you know what? Maybe this can be a fun little segment for some episodes of the podcast. Like once in a while, we have like a little debate topic, and you know we can kind of go back and forth. You know, Alpha Omega definitely had to be the first one because I think we both got to agree, man, that. Out of everything in zombies, that is the one thing we polar opposite disagree with. Is you or you hate Alpha Omega and I like Alpha Omega. So like we had to do that as like a little experiment debate thing. So yeah. Well, anyways, guys. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying I enjoy it. I enjoyed actually getting to the bunker topic or our points and stuff even because I feel like we've always said, "Oh, it's a bad map," but we never actually sat down and completely discussed why.
Yeah, true.
Like why is it, and now we've finally done it, and I hope we see this stuff. And honestly, a lot of future episodes. I think it's a very fun segment towards the end where we can have a new topic every few weeks. There you go.
Divisions debate. It's a little segment, a little bit of a segment here. Copyright that, trademark the term, coin it. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching episode 41 of the Division Z podcast. Had a little bit of an experimental section of the show today where we had a little bit of debate topics, and of course we talked about season 2 at the beginning and Warzone and esports. We had a lot of things to talk about today, which was really fun. But what was your favorite part of the podcast? Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comments, and I guess, do you have any other closing regards?
Alpha Omega is a bad map.
And you know what? No, cut it.
Cut it.
Nah. Oh, man. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this episode of the podcast. Go ahead and follow Division Z on Twitter and join our Discord so you stay up to date with everything Division Z related. And with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. Oh, also buy the merch. That's a link down below as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for another episode. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.